My name is Bella Mahaya Carter. I'm a creative writing teacher, empowerment coach, speaker, and author of 3 books. The most recent book is Where Do You Hang Your Hammock? Finding Peace of Mind While You Write, Publish, and Promote Your book. A lot of people ask me, well, what does a hammock have to do with creative writing? And I like to share this story. About 10 years ago, my daughter and my husband bought me a hammock for Mother's Day, and it was pretty much one of the best gifts I'd ever received. The only problem was I had no idea where to put my hammock. We have a big backyard, but I tend to host events back there, so I didn't want to put the hammock in the backyard. So it turned out we had this space on the side of the house, and the only problem was we had a wood shed there. We didn't really use it very much, so we decided to clear the shed and demolish it, and we set up the hammock, and it was perfect. It was under this big, beautiful tree, and I had a lot of shade. And it was my happy place. I went there after work in the summertime and I would relax. And then one day I went out to my hammock and something was different and it wasn't good. I looked up and I noticed that my shade was gone. There was a tree on my neighbor's property and there was a hole through the fence. The tree limb that provided the shade to my hammock extended through the hole. And he had cut that limb without asking us. And I was kind of pissed about it, very pissed about it. I tried using sunscreen, I tried using a sheet, I tried everything that I could think of, and nothing worked. And I was angry and I blamed him and I dug my heels into the dirt and I said, I'm screwed. And for the whole summer, I didn't use my hammock. And then one day, it was at the end of the summer, I really was missing my hammock and I wanted to go out into my hammock. And I just said, well, forget it. I'm going to move my hammock. And I tore down a rotting redwood trellis. I put on some gloves. I moved the hammock and didn't move it very far, just a little bit. But when I got into my hammock, I looked up at the sky and I saw beautiful trees, oleander and walnut trees. And I thought, why didn't I do this sooner? And the reason I hadn't done it sooner is because my mind had been fixed. I thought that the hammock had to be in the spot that we designated the hammock spot. It had to look that way. So now you might say, well, what does this have to do with publishing and writing? The answer is that oftentimes, well, when I was on my publishing journey with my memoir, my journey from anxiety to joy, I discovered that the path to publication wasn't unfolding in the way that I expected. And what I've discovered is that life often doesn't unfold in the way that we expect. And this is of course true for writers as well. So how do we move our perspective? How do we change our perspective? How do we move our hammock in our writing and in our lives? And the more I thought about this, the more I thought that there are basically just 3 things. And the first 2 are really counterintuitive, but they are slow down, surrender, and celebrate. And just to say a couple little things about each one, slowing down has to do with slowing down the mind. The mind moves at the rate of thought and not at the rate of life. So we're moving constantly all the time in our minds, and my body could be here, but my mind could be somewhere else. And when that happens, things are kind of swirling around. Imagine a snow globe. You shake it up and all the snow is going around and it's chaotic. And it's really hard to navigate from that place. But when the snow settles and it's quiet, you then have a mind that is receptive, that is open, that is available. So that's slowing down. So the second piece is surrendering. So what do we want to surrender? One thing that we might want to surrender is our doubt. And in my book, I have a chapter called Universal Doubt, in which I talk about the fact that we all have doubt, every one of us, but we personalize it. We think it's about us, and it's not. It's universal. And so when we hear that voice of doubt inside in our minds, and we can just know, oh, that's universal doubt. Everybody has it. I don't have to be hijacked by it. So the last piece is just to celebrate. And what do we celebrate? You know, we're celebrating saying yes to our dreams. We're celebrating unapologetic self-expression. We're celebrating the fact that we can really trust ourselves and that we can be the author and the authority of our own lives. And we can start to ask questions instead of, you know, am I good enough? Can I do this? We can start to ask questions like, how can I serve? How can I give? And I think that when we approach life, when we slow down, when we surrender the things that we can't control, that really gives us an opportunity to celebrate. And that's what I try to talk. That's what I do talk about in Where Do You Hang Your Hammock? Finding peace of mind while you write, publish, and promote your book.